Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to a story where love, trust, and truth are fighting against lies, jealousy, and betrayal. In what seemed like peaceful days, Tu-Na found herself crushed by cruel rumors and photos that had been carefully manipulated, all coming from someone who once called her a friend. When the darkness seemed to close in, she chose to rise, not for revenge, but to reclaim her dignity. A forged document, a fake seal, and a name finally revealed Mai, the woman who turned love into a battlefield. But this time, Tu-Na is no longer the fragile girl she once was. She holds the evidence in her hands and a renewed faith in her heart. Today's episode marks a turning point when truth stands face to face with deceit, when the one who was once hurt takes control, and when trust returns not through words, but through actions. Join me as we step into today's story, where a small but determined woman proves that sometimes the most beautiful revenge isn't making someone fall, but standing strong enough that they have to bow their head. The little village had fallen silent again, but inside Tu-Na, nothing was quiet. She barely left the house. The wooden door stayed half closed, sunlight slipping through a narrow crack and landing on an old paper lying on the table, a copy of a loan agreement, its fake red seal still faintly visible. The day she first received it, her heart froze. But now, looking at the very thing that once broke her, she felt no fear. In her tired, sleepless eyes, something new was stirring, calm, cold, and steady. They can destroy me with lies, she thought, but the truth, no matter how late, will always speak for itself. The next morning, she put on a raincoat, pulled down her hat, and quietly boarded the bus to town. Her stop was a small copy shop by the roadside, rumored to be a place where fake seals were made. The shop owner, a middle-aged woman, looked up as Tu-Na placed the paper on the counter. "Ma'am Tu-Na," asked her voice, trembling, but firm, "do you remember who printed this seal?" The woman leaned closer, hesitated, then said, "A city girl, pretty wearing white, dark sunglasses. Sent the file by email, came to pick it up in person. The receipt's still here. You can look." Tu-Na took it. Her heart tightened when she saw the printed name, Sender Mai, Alex's company email. Her hands clenched. For the first time, she didn't cry. She only felt something inside icy, but stronger than any fear she'd known before. That afternoon, Mai sat in a riverside cafe, the sunset washing over her confident face. Tu-Na walked in rain, still clinging to her coat, her eyes deep and calm. "We need to talk," she said softly but firmly. Mai raised an eyebrow. "You came to apologize," Tu-Na laid the receipt and a printed email on the table. "No, I came to return something that doesn't belong to you." Mai froze. "You had the fake seal made here. The receipt, the email, even the shop's security footage, I've already sent them to my lawyer. By tomorrow, everyone will know who started the lies." "You wouldn't dare," Mai said, gripping her cup. "I'm not daring, Tu-Na replied quietly. "I'm doing what I must, because I finally understand. Kindness doesn't save anyone. Only truth does." Mai said nothing. Her face turned pale. Tu-Na stood meeting her eyes. "I used to be afraid of you. Not anymore. People who live in lies eventually fear their own silence. The words cut through the air like a quiet blade. Mai didn't respond. She only watched as Tuna walked out small-soaked, but standing tall, like someone who had walked through a storm and refused to fall. That night, Alex came to her house. The rain hadn't stopped drumming against the roof like a heartbeat. He stood under the porch, eyes full of regret. "I know everything now," he said softly. "I'm sorry, Tuna. I should have believed you from the start." She shook her head, her voice hoarse but gentle. "It's okay, Alex. I don't need an apology. I just need your trust." "I trust you," he said, stepping closer. "And I promise this time I won't stand on the sidelines." Tuna lowered her eyes as tears rolled down, not from pain, but from the relief of finally being believed after so many dark days. Resting her head on his shoulder, she whispered, "I used to think trust was the weakest thing in the world, but now I know. It's the strongest if you choose to keep it." A week later, the local paper ran a headline, "Fake documents and false rumors exposed culprit held accountable by law." That morning, the sun rose after many days of rain. Tuna opened the window and took a deep breath. The scent of wet earth mixed with peace. On her table lay not the forged paper from before, but a new letter from the local bank. "Thank you, Ms. Tuna, for your honesty and perseverance. Your family's loan has been cleared due to your special circumstances and determination." She smiled a quiet, gentle smile that shone like the morning light. Outside the gate, Alex was waiting with a bouquet of roses. "Are you okay now?" he asked. She nodded. "Not just okay. I've risen." Alex took her hand and held it firmly. "Good. Because from now on, we don't have to prove anything to anyone." The morning breeze swayed the curtain softly. Sunlight spilled across their faces and reflected off the window, once a mirror of a frightened girl, now showing a woman who had learned to stand tall, kind, but no longer fragile. Outside, birds sang under the clear blue sky. On the screen appeared the final words, "Sometimes the most beautiful revenge isn't making someone suffer. It's standing strong enough that they have to bow their head." Late afternoon. The golden light of sunset streamed through the window, falling across the white tablecloth, where the dishes still gave off a faint trace of steam. The room was completely still. Only the soft ticking of the wall clock broke the silence. Alex sat nearby, glancing at Tuna every so often. She kept her head slightly bowed, hands clasped together in her lap, tired, cautious. Mrs. Min set her bowl down. Her voice was gentle, but carried a quiet worry. "Tuna, you've seemed so thin and sad lately. Is something going on?" Tuna looked up slowly. The light fell across her pale face, but in her eyes was a sadness she could no longer hide. She spoke softly, her voice trembling. "It's nothing serious, ma'am. Just a few misunderstandings. But someone's trying to make things worse." Mrs. Min tilted her head, frowning. "Who?" Tuna hesitated. She knew that once she said the name, there would be no turning back. She took a slow breath. "It's my... She's trying to ruin me, to damage my reputation and turn Alex against me." The serving spoon froze in Mrs. Min's hand. Her eyes turned sharp with a flash of disbelief. That girl. She really did this to you." The room fell silent again. Only the wind outside brushed against the curtain, making it sway lightly. Tuna lowered her gaze, her voice breaking. "I don't want to speak ill of anyone, but everything that's happened lately, it all traces back to her. The rumors at work, the edited photos, she wants me to lose everything." Mrs. Min sat quietly for a few moments, then placed the spoon down. Her eyes dimmed, filled with disappointment. "I always thought Mai was a polite, well-mannered girl. I never imagined." She paused, eyes glistening. Jealousy can turn even a kind heart into something cruel. Beside them, Alex clenched his hand into a fist. He glanced at Tuna and gently touched her hand, a silent gesture of comfort. That dinner was no ordinary meal. It was the moment Mrs. Min finally understood the chaos hadn't come from Tuna, but from a heart consumed by darkness. At the end of the meal, Mrs. Min spoke slowly, her tone calm but firm. "Tuna, don't worry. I believe you. And if Mai truly goes too far this time, I'll be the first to stop her." Tuna bowed her head, slightly eyes brimming with tears. Outside, the rain began to fall, soft drops hitting the roof, sounding like the quiet rhythm of forgiveness, washing away the line between anger and grace.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người. Tất cả chỉ còn lại nỗi đau âm thầm và riêng tôi giữ lại liệu định mệnh có đang thử thách chúng tôi và câu trả lời sẽ khiến trái tim bạn thắt lại.